Hey everyone, Jay Whitner here with Space Headlines. We do a quick recap every week of what's going on in the space arena. And today we're going to be talking about the third week of July 2019. Before we start with our regular news, I'd like to remind everyone that our group, Integrated Space Analytics, has a Kickstarter running right now in support of updating the Integrated Space Plan, which is the most detailed long-term projection of our future in space available. We're working on the 2019 update. If you'd like to learn more and visit our Kickstarter page, if you look at the lower left corner of the screen right now, you'll see the web address for our website, which is thespaceplan.com. And if you go there, on the very top of the homepage is a link to our Kickstarter campaign. So be sure to check that out. NASA is working on growing fruit in space, which will be a first for NASA astronauts. They're planning to start this up in November of this year on the International Space Station. It's the Espanola chili pepper is the fruit that they've selected for a variety of reasons. It's very important that NASA learn how to grow various types of food in space to be able to provide fresh food for our astronauts as they're in orbit, on the moon, en route to Mars, and so forth. In honor of the big Apollo 11 anniversary, the 50th year, Congress did something really neat. They approved a plan to project an image of the Saturn V moon rocket on top of the Washington Monument. And you can see the image below here. It's a bit difficult to see the Washington Monument that the Saturn V is projected upon, but there it is. It's full size, 363 feet tall, and it's nice to see Congress doing something a little bit visionary, a little bit edgy. SpaceX was in the news, and the topic was the Starhopper test vehicle. They were doing some testing on the Starhopper, and then there was some fuel below the Starhopper and some of the infrastructure there, and the fuel ignited, and this created flames which enveloped the Starhopper test vehicle. It's wonderful and great that in this case you have a stainless steel rocket, so a little bit of fire isn't probably going to do too much damage to it. So there's a good chance that the Starhopper is fine, and hopefully we'll learn more over the next week or so to confirm that. Elon Musk made a really intriguing announcement, maybe the biggest news of the week, which is sort of par for the course with Elon. His announcement was that he thinks the Starship could land on the moon by 2021, and that the Starship could land people on the moon by 2023. Now, I'm a big fan of Elon Musk, and he's done amazing things. He pursues his goals and achieves them, but sometimes the time scale is a little bit off. So let's assume for the moment, out of conservatism, that it takes twice as long as Mr. Musk is projecting. That would still mean that by 2027, the Starship could be landing on the moon with people. And what's really intriguing about that is not only that it could happen by 2027 and not be like a government program, but not only could you get people on the moon by then, you could get massive amounts of payloads using a fully reusable vehicle that could make repetitive flights and really set up a base on the moon in short order. So this is a fantastic thing, and he made one interesting comment. He said it might be easier to get the Starship to land on the moon with people than to convince NASA that he can do it. Thought that was fun. Good news on the Starhopper. We've got some communications now from SpaceX that indicate that the Starhopper was not seriously damaged by the flames that enveloped it around the most recent flight test. And they think they're going to be able to do the next flight test in about a week. And the goal of that test is to be an untethered flight that would reach about 65 feet of altitude, do just a tiny bit of maneuvering at altitude, and then to land after that. So good luck to SpaceX with this upcoming Starhopper test. Hopefully everything will go smoothly. China was in the news. They deorbited their second space station, Tiangong-2, as planned over the Pacific. It was a successful deorbiting. Nobody was injured or anything. And this was their second space station that they have flown as sort of space station prototypes. And all this is leading up to their real space station, the 80-ton space station they have planned for 2022. So this will be a big milestone for China and just a big landmark for human spaceflight. And a lot of people aren't aware that China has had a space station in orbit continually for the last 8 years. India's in the news. They just launched Earth's first spacecraft bound for the moon's south pole. Now, we've certainly sent probes to the moon. Various countries have done that. And of course, the United States has landed people on the moon. What's different now is it's the moon's south pole. The polar regions are different in a variety of ways. Probably the most significant is the presence of water ice at the poles. So what does ice give you? Well, ice gives you water for drinking and various other purposes. And because you can break the water into oxygen and hydrogen, it also could give you oxygen to breathe for astronauts at the moon. And also the combination of oxygen and hydrogen are the very best rocket propellants that are available. So hopefully India's probe will be able to learn more about the ice at the poles and how it's distributed so that we can come up with a plan for how to access the ice, to mine it and use it. That's it for Space Headlines, covering the third week of July. Check back with us in a week or so, and we should have our report ready for the fourth week of July, and we will see you then. Take care.